were obi nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Were obi dị mma, were obi nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Asị na mmadụ niile ndị bi n'ụwa ga-anụ ihe, ha ga-anụ ebe Chineke na-ajụ, ọ bụ gịnị mere ume n'ụwa jere ibe ha iro, ebe ya bụ Chukwu kere ụwa dị mma. Were obi dị mma nwayọ na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Asị na mmadụ niile ndị bi n'ụwa ha ga-anụ ihe, ha ga-anụ ebe Chineke na-ajụ, ọ bụ gịnị mere ume n'ụwa jere ibe ha iro, ebe ya bụ Chukwu kere ụwa dị mma. Were obi dị mma nwayọ na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Asị na mmadụ niile ndị bi n'ụwa ha ga-ahụ ihe, ha ga-ahụ ihe ọma niile Chukwu kere. Ọ dịghị onye ọbụla Chukwu si na ọka ya mma, ọ dịghị onye ọbụla ka ibe ya mma. Were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Asị na mmadụ niile ndị bi n'ụwa ha ga-ekwu eziokwu, ha ga-ekwede ihe kwuru mere eme. Ọ dịghị onye ọbụla okwu ya kacha ụtọ na ntị, omenala anyị bụ eziokwu anyị. Were obi dị mma na-eto, were obi nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Asị na mmadụ niile ndị bi n'ụwa ha ga-anụ ihe, ha ga-anụ ebe Chineke na-ajụ, ọ bụ gịnị mere ume n'ụwa jere ibe ha iro, ebe ya bụ Chukwu kere ụwa dị mma. Were obi dị mma nwayọ na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Asị na mmadụ niile ndị bi n'ụwa ha ga-ekwu eziokwu, ha ga-ekwere ihe anyị kwuru mere eme. Ọ dịghị onye ọbụla okwu ya kacha ụtọ na ntị, omenala anyị bụ eziokwu anyị. Were obi dị mma nwayọ na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Asị na mmadụ niile ndị bi n'ụwa na-anụ ihe, ha ga-anụ ebe Chineke na-ajụ, ọ bụ gịnị mere ume n'ụwa jere ibe ha maka na ebe ya bụ Chukwu kere ụwa dị mma. Were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke. Asị na mmadụ niile ndị bi n'ụwa ha ga-ekwu eziokwu, ha ga-ekwede ihe anyị kwuru mere eme. Ọ dịghị onye ọbụla okwu ya kacha ụtọ na ntị ya, omenala anyị bụ eziokwu anyị. Were obi dị mma nwayọ na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke nwayọ, were obi dị mma na-eto Chineke, were obi dị mma, were obi nwayọ, were obi dị mma. Well, good morning. Good morning. I hope you enjoyed that music. Widobidema. I had to play it today because I had a conversation with someone who had difficulty understanding that I'm not a Christian. And I'm not a Christian not because I hate Christianity. I'm not a Christian not because I hate Christians. I'm not a Christian because I'm just not a Christian. There are different paths to get to Chineke, and we must use kindness as we praise God in all the different names that we have for the Most High. I'm not a Christian because my family was not Christian. My culture is not Christian. It is nothing said against Christians, but it's something said about me, who I am. And that other people have every right to go to God the way they understand best was a difficult concept for her. And you see, that's the problem with religion. It's not the religion that we're proponents of. It is how we can bring other people to think like us. We don't honor the spirituality of others. So I had to play that music. Be kind as you march forward in your connection with the Most High. Be kind as you praise. There's nothing wrong with somebody praising a different way. But what's wrong is if you throw yours away and try to force another to see things your way. So today we are going to talk about us. We're going to talk about, I thank you, Dr. Imani Mahat has joined us today. Thank you. I'm glad you love the music. I love it too. It's one of my favorite. Nosferatu says, is this her favorite? It is because of the meaning behind it. Wirubidima. So welcome, Matt Lewis, Dr. Imani, Nosferatu, and some others. I'm seeing some numbers behind that I can't see their names because they're in a different, they're coming in from a different forum. But I want to start by bringing forward my co-host, Dibia Otwaja, Yudi Onyo.
There, well, how are you?
They
How's
were
everybody in the spiritual universe?
in the spiritual
Hope all
universe.
is well. So let's get to it.
Yeah, all is well, I'm sure. All is well. Let me welcome one more person here. Oh, well, that's Nosferatu says that she likes the blue sky where blessings flow. I want to represent that. Uh, hey, Yudi, Dr. Mani says,
Oh,
I just want to just have a,
how you doing,
just having
Dr.
a
Manny?
little.
Well, you guys might talk about all the blue, but hey.
It's got the
I'm
symbol of,
smiling too.
yeah.
All right.
So let me just start by, I'm Okebidibia Dr. Wanyo Hosimiri, and it is my pleasure, as always, to host this show. It's one of those things I look forward to every single Sunday because, you have stressful week. After that, you need a moment to just have some conversation about what makes you happy, and then have conversation with others as well as give thanks to the Creator. So today, I'm going to ask you to remember, if you haven't done so, or if you haven't asked anybody to do so, to subscribe to Chiism Live on YouTube. We need those numbers, and we ask you to be supportive enough that you get your friends or whomsoever thank you, Dr. Imani. Um, what is that? Okay, that's my alarm going off. Okay, but I want us to help this program by going to the to our Chisholm Live on YouTube and subscribe. Make it a point of duty if you don't mind. Get one person today to subscribe.
you will be helping a lot. Just get one person to subscribe. Also, we have conversations on Chism Live on Facebook page as well. And we ask you to join conversations or initiate conversations. Don't wait for us, because all of us have a lot of things that we want to talk about. And initiate, you can initiate conversation there. And also Global Faith Ministries of Chism on Facebook. You can also initiate conversations there. And Chism Live, chism.org. We can have conversations there as well. We have a blog. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to go there and blog as much as you want. We blog on Global Faith Ministries of Chism, and all that information goes to the website chism.org. So I invite you to do all that. And then I want to introduce you I think I made that introduction last week, African calendar. That's where we have a lot of our books, our writings, the African calendar itself, and also the Ozondo, our horoscope. You can get that there. So visit there. If you haven't visited there, just go there and see some of the wonderful things that we have there. This is not just where we have our conversation. We have in different places. So pick what works for you. We always welcome you to come here, but there are other avenues where you can have conversations with us. And then you can we have our wonderful tracks on Global Faith Ministries of Chism on Facebook. Please go there and read those. We really take time to write those things. We really take time to write them. So we want you to read them and make your comments, leave your comments, good, bad, or indifferent. We don't get upset if you disagree with us. As a matter of fact, when you disagree, you open the conversation. We're not expecting you to agree with everything we do, but we expect you to take the time and challenge us, if you will, or agree with us, whatever suits your fancy. Or something I want to announce is we provide spiritual counseling as well. I'm putting this up so you can read it. You can contact us on Facebook if you wish. At Global Faith Ministries of Chism Counseling Hub. It is very private and strictly for those who require counseling. If you want to speak directly to me about anything that concerns you, you may contact me and I'll put you in this hub. If you want to talk to UD, we will DB Ochoaja UD, we will put you in there and you can have conversation. You cannot bring your friends in. Okay. It's strictly by invitation. And as a matter of fact, if you want to stay, yes, but after we've solved your problem, say that your problem has been solved and we'll remove you. So it's not somewhere that we have conversations. It's where we talk about people and whatever challenges we had. I had to set this up because I keep getting all these messages, about, spiritually related, and I can't correlate all of them because they're flying from everywhere. So I want us to be able to talk to people where we can see the messages, put them in there, have conversations with them. So that's that. And so now let's talk about what this program is. Remember, I told you last month, and this month is almost over. This is still the month of Agunsi. The color of this month is indigo. And this is the month of the New Yam Festival. And so in this month, we prepare for the New Yam Festival preparation to give thanks. Now, some people are already celebrating it. That's what this month is. New Yam Festival, a celebration of positivity and cheerfulness and gratitude. So if you're born in this month, you're tenacious, you're patient, you're loving. If you're not doing that, I will tell you very honestly, you start doing that because you were born in the month of Agunsi. That means there are some expectations how you conduct yourself. All right. So all this information can be found in Ozondo, African Spiritual Horoscope. You can order it from africancalendar.org. Please visit there. There's just some wonderful things there. Visit there, africancalendar.org. You will find a lot of things that we are promoting that you can buy. So do so. So the topic of our conversation today is Reincarnation, Ilowa, which is a two-part series. Hold on a moment, somebody sent me an important Oh, okay. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to go back to my conversation.
I sent it. Nels was asking about the hoodie. So I just said, I just sent a message for her to know that merchandise, is coming soon.
Oh, I see. Okay. All
So,
right. Okay.
once the merchandising, starts and, these products become available, then, particularly devout, fan club will
Yes.
definitely,
Yeah. Yeah. We have so many.
have the
We have
first
so many
thing.
shirts and hoodies, and for the moment, the link to where they can make those purchases will be on African calendar until we set up our own specific
Mhm.
merchandising, website. But that's where they're going to be able to order it. And we'll talk to uh, the designer, which is Native Design Group,
Mhm.
does all the designs, and they got
The,
so many wonderful designs.
yeah.
Oh my God, that
The,
that one,
the one that
yeah,
I have, yeah, this one right here, I
mhm.
especially ordered this one for myself, and it was just
Okay,
for me.
okay,
It's just a personal thing.
yeah,
But once the merchandise becomes available for public consumption, you guys will be the first to know. So stay tuned.
okay. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Okay, so the topic of conversation today is Reincarnation, Ilowa, which is a two-part series. It's such a long conversation that we can't finish it today because we have to end this exactly at 11 a.m. We will not go beyond that. So we're going to have to have another conversation next week to complete this series on reincarnation. So what is it? Reincarnation. Now, before the advent of Western religious civilization, our great grandfathers, our great grandmothers in Igboland in particular, but this is something that's inherent in most African spirituality and actually inherent in most spirituality. Okay, but it was very important to us, particularly in Igboland. You know, we called it Iloa. We called it Iloa. Iloa is coming back again, reincarnation. Okay, and because of that, we were never afraid of death. It was just part of living. And you did the right things in your life so that when you come back, only goodness will follow you. All right. We also believed in Alamu. Those are the inner realms, not just the fairy tales, that you hear, but where we actually believe that our noble ancestors go to, where they are living and interceding for us on behalf of us. And so that when somebody passes, they will go back to
Hey, will get it.
keep talking. My phone,
Oh,
my laptop decided to
okay.
restart.
All right.
So keep talking.
Okay. Sorry about the interruption, folks. We're having technical difficulties on the other end. Okay, Divya, her computer suddenly decided to restart itself. So, she froze up, and I'm going to continue the conversation till she comes back in. So, basically, what is reincarnation? Uh, I think before we really get into this topic, it's important to stress that reincarnation really has to do with a reward and punishment. Like most spiritualities, most religions deal with reward and punishment. This is how you control human behavior. Hopefully, for people to do good, to do better, to love one another, to love our environment, treat each other with love, and not present religion as exclusively the only way to, get to God, to ask for things and forgiveness and all that kind of stuff. So reincarnation really has to do with reward and punishment. And what is reincarnation? It is the rebirth of the soul in a new body. As OKDB had mentioned earlier, let's keep in mind that we are not the only ones. Africans are not the only spiritualists that believe in this reward and punishment in reincarnation. As a matter of fact, almost all Asian religions make it a prominent part of their teachings. And even in Christianism, at least there's one mention of it that we know, and that is the rebirth of Christ coming back. All right. So in religious teachings, there are two types of worlds. One is the physical that we exist in, and then the other one is the spiritual world. Okay. In every culture, it is fair to say that we don't believe that once the physical existence is terminated, that that's it. Because if this is what religions believe, then there really will be no need to control human behavior. This is part of the control mechanism to make sure that we love, interact with one another, reward and punishment. In our culture, in Chiism, we say imema inatama, imenjo inatanjo. How you reincarnate is going to really depend on what you did while you were in this physical world. If you did good things, you're going to reincarnate as a better soul, as a better person, right? This is a belief system. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's a test tube where you could test to see who came back from what and what they did in their past lives. This is just a belief system that is taught from childhood to make you a better person. Reward and punishment for you to understand that when you leave this earth, there's another realm that you have to exist in, the spiritual realm, right? And how you exist there and how you come back is going to really depend on how you have lived your life. So, OKDB is back. I'll get a chance to get more into detail with what I'm talking about, but I just want people to understand that reincarnation, most African spirituality and religions believe in reincarnation, and it goes beyond that. Most world religions believe in it, and I think the only world religions that don't necessarily focus on reincarnation are Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. And having said that, over to you, OKDB.
Yes, thank you so much. And I do apologize. My laptop that it wanted to restart for whatever reason. So, but thank God, you can always correct those things quickly. And here I am again. Yes, UD, exactly. One of the things that is key about, because you want to ask, okay, if we believe in reincarnation, the ancestors believe in the fact that we have 7 opportunities to come back and get our lives straight before we actually become ancestors. We have an opportunity when you leave this earth based on what you've done. You either come back at a higher level or at a lower level, and you have to work your way back up depending on what you've done in your life. So for us, it's imperative that we conduct ourselves in honorable and dignified manner in anything we do, because when you leave this earth, unless of course unless you've reached the age of 80, that means you're still on that journey. So you don't want to pause at any time doing good. You have to keep doing good, keep doing the right thing, follow the mores and the norms of society, positive ones, that is, so that when you do leave this earth, you shall return again. That is, how does that then impact how we relate to each other? How does that impact how we relate to our world? You see, what we have stopped doing is seeing each other as part of the path that we have to take to our own good. What you do for your fellow human being will come back to you ultimately, not in heaven, as some people want to believe, but when you come back, When you return, you are you're blessed based on your activities here while you were living. So that's why we say Maduguchi Bea, that means I see you, I see the good in you, I see you, you represent God to me, blah 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 blah. Anything that I can do to honor my fellow human being is honoring my journey when I leave this earth for reincarnation. And when sometimes now, you know that you're supposed to be my uncle. You're supposed to
Yeah.
be our uncle. And you look
Hmm.
just like him. And
And
mom, dad, everybody saw him.
so let me
Go ahead.
just
Go ahead.
intercede right quick with what you just said. I have I had an uncle named Gideon, and everybody calls me that. He was a Christian, so but that was on my mother's side, and so everybody says that I look like him, I sound like him, I walk like him. Now, what really convinced them beyond all these physical attributes that relates to him that I have is the fact that when he passed away, reason why he passed away was he was in a farm and injured his right knee, right above his knee, right? He was injured. It got infected and became this big sore, and it got gangrene and ended up killing him. That's what killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was born with a birthmark right there, the same place where he had the injury. And I
That's
still have
right.
that birthmark till today. So because of that, they say, you are Gideon, you talk like him, you look like him, you walk like him, you have his demeanor, and you have a birthmark right where
Mm-hmm.
he had injured himself before he passed away. So I claim that, and hopefully I'm better
Yeah.
for it.
And that's true. If you look in your own family,
Yeah.
and you know your history, the history of your family, you will find certain people in the family who act like your ancestors, like somebody who has passed away, or
Mhm.
not necessarily the ancestor, but somebody that has passed away in the family. You find a child that does the same thing, the same thing that this family member did. Now, in
Yeah.
some situations, when person passed away, right, because they were burned in a fire, something like that, and you find that when a child is born and maybe have some marks showing a burn marks or things of that nature, they say, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, that person is back again." You see what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's something that brings families together, number one, and that's our spiritual way of thinking. Because we know that just because you've left this earth doesn't mean you won't come back. Even a mother, a parent, a father, or a mother will say, "When I come back, when that means I
Hmm.
am with you. I will be with you. I will come back to you because you're such a good son. You're such a good daughter. That sort of thing." So we don't expect people to pass away. That is not our culture. That when somebody passes away, they go on somewhere in the clouds and go away. We no. We believe that you come back and then you come back to inherit what you did do. What you did do. So it's very, very important that we understand the relevance, and that's why I want to have this conversation. What is the relevance? What is the importance that we believe in reincarnation? Wamo wasa. Okay, we don't know where we are in the whole scheme of things until we hit 80. Then we say, "Oh my God, we've gone through the whole thing." You see what I'm saying? So by the time you hit 81, you better get your stuff straight.
Yeah.
Because you should have had it all together. Because you've gone through. If you're
Yeah.
80 years old and you're a mean-spirited person, I'm sorry, you're gonna have a difficult time with the ancestors because they keep asking you, why you did the things you did. But by the time you're 80 years old, you've gone through. You know,
Yeah.
um, and
It's assumed that your behavior once you hit 80, right, is a little bit more spiritual,
yes,
right? You're a
that's
little
right.
bit more controlled soul, right? You
Yes,
don't have any
yes,
ambitions to, you
that's
know,
right.
do everything else other than live a spiritual life, because you are now facing your mortality, right? So
That's
that is
right.
the
That's right.
attitude, and that is the reason beyond the age of 80. Because from the age of 80, it is
Hmm.
assumed that whatever inconsistencies and evil and stuff that you've had in your mind, now whether you can test that in the lab is a whole different story. You can't test the belief in God. You cannot put religion in a test tube. We know that. So again,
Yes.
it's about assuming that at that age you've pretty much done it all, and at that age the way you look forward and the way you live out the rest of your life is really totally spiritual, you know. And I just want to stress this again, because people need to understand reincarnation is not about magic, right? It's not about this evil thing, this devilish thing. It is about reward and punishment.
Hmm.
Just like in Christianism, for example, what
Yes, sir.
is their idea of reward and punishment? If you do good, you go to heaven. If you do bad, you go to
Hmm.
hell, right? In
Hmm.
African
Hmm.
spirituality and in a lot of Asian religions, we don't have heaven and hell. We have the same judgment with reincarnation. If you do good and
When
you
you
hit the
come
age
back.
of 80, you transition. If you do good, you come back, because you got to go around 7 times. When you come back, you're coming back as even a
Hmm.
better soul. You are going to do better
Uwamo
things.
wasa.
Yeah, you're going to be even more blessed if you continue to do good in
Hmm.
all
More
seven
blessed in your next world.
areas.
That's right.
Now, if you happen to pass away when you get to the age of 80, after the age of
Hmm.
80, you don't come back.
Hmm.
That's it. But as long as you haven't
You
gotten
become
to
a
the age of
guardian.
80,
You're a guardian.
you become a guy. Yeah, you will keep coming back. And if in your journey back to make amends, to correct your mistakes, if you lived your life as a terrible human being, your punishment is that when you come back, you may come back as an ant. You may come back as a sloth. You may come back as a cockroach, whatever it is. This is the idea behind
And that's
re.
to encourage.
That's to encourage you to be a better person, to dissuade you from doing bad things. Listen,
Hmm.
there are two ways to control human behavior. One is spiritual and one is civic. The spiritual part came before the civic part. What do I mean by civic part? Civic laws, right? You kill somebody, you
Hmm.
get life in jail, you get a
Yes.
death sentence,
Yes.
and all that. Spiritually speaking, thou shalt not kill, right? It's a
Hmm.
spiritual maxim that every world religion has. It's nothing. It's not a Christian thing or Buddhist thing or Jewish thing or Chinese thing. There is no religion in the world that says
Hmm.
thou shalt kill. It doesn't mean we don't do it, but spiritually, that specific commandment, thou shalt not lie. There is no culture,
Hmm.
religion, spirituality that says, oh, it's okay to lie, but people do it, right? Thou shalt not covet somebody else's wife. There's no
Hmm.
religion that say, hey, have at it. There is nothing in the Ten Commandments that
Hmm.
all the spiritualities of religions don't have. So nobody came in down from the heaven and for the first time in Exodus brought this law and made us aware. Thou shalt not lie. Then we go, oh, I didn't know that we couldn't lie. Well, I'm glad you came back and put it in stone. Now I see it. You know, thou shalt not covet somebody's wife. Oh, I thought it was okay to sleep around with other people. Oh, hey, you know what? I'm glad you brought that to my attention because I didn't know. It didn't work like that, right? These are fairy tales, like you said. All right? That's not how the world works. The idea, and I keep stressing this, and I just want people to understand, and then I'll hand it back to you. Reincarnation is about reward and punishment, and you can elaborate on that as much as you feel it's necessary to do so. So that when you talk about reincarnation, you're not talking about this evil spiritual thing that other religions that are not Abrahamic are doing to mess up your soul and create whatever boogeyman you want to create in your mind. This is about reward and punishment. And every world religion has a concept of reward and punishment. Ours is
Mm-hmm.
reincarnation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Very good. I just want to read before I continue. I just want to read some comments
Yeah.
and just talk a little bit about it. Nosferatu says your actions on earth determine to return upon reincarnation. Negative acts will result in returning as a useless object. You just same thing you just pointed out. Whatever you do,
Yeah.
on earth is going to come back to haunt you. So you're not going to go anywhere that you're going to sit at the foot of Chineke when you have committed all kinds of crimes. And we're not saying, and I think that this is important for us to understand. We don't tell anyone you're going to be, that God is so wicked that they're going to burn you or whatever, some of these frightening things
Yeah.
that we say to human beings and corrupt their minds and make them think that and then the other thing about reincarnation is I think that Ukunda says "Mkpụrụ onye kụrụ ka ọ what's that? Agota. That
Mhm.
means whatever you plant, yeah, that's what you're going
So shall you
to
reap what
reap.
you sow. So shall you
And
reap.
we need to
That's what it means.
understand that.
Mm.
Yeah, so shall you reap. We're not telling people in our spirituality, not I'm talking about we're not telling you that the other world is so frightening, that
Mm.
you don't want to go there. We say, hey, look, you do the right things. If you haven't achieved a certain age, you're coming back, to reap what you sow. You see,
Yeah.
even right now, as we're doing New Year Festival, they're putting masquerades and all that. It's not, there's still that connection with, with our ancestors and indeed with those who have passed on, who are probably on their way back, So they wear masks and they use it as it's celebratory. It's not frightening. Death is not frightening. Death is part of life. But what we do while we are living determines what we inherit when we come back. And let's understand something. People don't know it, or maybe people do know it. I shouldn't put it that way. Even while you're alive, what you reap, what you sow, so shall you reap, because your children are watching you.
Yeah.
Your children are watching what you're doing. What you're doing is what they're going to do. If you're kind, you have kind children. If you're wicked, you're going to have wicked kids. If you're loud and punitive, you're going to have kids that want to be punitive. So you will, while you're living, you're still reaping what you sow. And when you come back your next life, you'll probably be even worse, because you haven't done anything positive while you're alive. I say this now, there are other African, there are other, let me just say Igbos, okay, that have different opinion about the process itself, and you have individuals who believe that death, in some cases, our death is just, the body just dies and becomes food for the worms and all of that. But some people believe that when you come back, you're going to be as you are, the same height, same strength, and same complexion. You'll be the same thing. Now that's the different ways that some Igbos look at it. Okay, some believe the body dies and is buried and it becomes food. It feeds the earth. That's we help to feed and nurture lower animals once we die. And then some people, on the other hand, believe that you're coming back as you are. All right. Except, the only difference will be what level of blessings you're going to have. It doesn't matter the diverse thoughts. The important thing is that we had a way of keeping our people in check,
Yes, we did.
monitoring behavior of our people. But now that it's gone, what you find is a lot of me, myself, and I attitude. You know, Some people don't even want to work for anything anymore. They don't even want to work. I was watching a video that blew me away. This pastor took some people to the riverside, and there by the river holding skulls, right? And these are supposedly skulls of their ancestors, and they're calling those ancestors to give them, guess what? Money. And he's telling them to say, we want money, we want money, we want money. And that's what they're chanting.
Without a business plan.
With no business. Then, you know, see, this is the danger when we focus on material things, not kindness to one another. You know, a farmer in one's former life, we believe that the reincarnation. Well, this is some thoughts, different thoughts, that if you died, you're coming back to the same family. If you passed away, you're coming back to the same family. You're not going to come back to somebody else or some other family. You're coming back as grandma or your dead auntie or somebody, you know, in the family. So you stay in the family. I remember when my daughter was very young, she was very concerned about that. That's Kalenda. She was frightened about death, not the pain of death itself. No, her concern was, would I still be in this family, Mom? Would I know? She wanted to understand that if I passed away as her mom, that I will come back to the family, and if she passes away, she'll come back to the same family. Do you understand? And when a child feels that way, you might want to pat yourself on the back for her to want or him to want to be in the same family. You're doing something positive. The love they have for you, you know, is such that they don't want that separation. So you have some cultures that say, oh no, we don't get separated. For whatever reason, we don't get separated. We all still come back to each other. Go ahead, you.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to say something.
That's a great point. That's a great point. You know, in the end, it's all reincarnation, just different flavors of it, right?
Different flavors of it.
Yeah,
you know?
It's different flavors of it. So, you know, for people that believe that you have to come in the same family, that's fine and dandy. That's okay, because there's no test tube here, right? It is not. It's a belief system that the idea
it's a belief
behind
system.
The idea behind it again is reward and punishment, and how soon you come back also varies. You know, in Asian religions, it's 49 days. 49 days after a person passes away in Buddhism, Sikhism, Hinduism, and all that stuff. 49 days after that, you come back, right? Now, there are two levels to this, and I just kind of wanted to stress that. One is, and I said, analowa, Ozesa, right? Before you finally go off and become an ancestor after you've made it to the age of 80. Now, if you haven't made it to the age of 80 and you're a good person and you lived an exemplary life, you get to come back and do it again, even as a better person, in the hopes that you will make it to that age before you join the ancestors. You have 7, it will happen in 7 tries, right? It is not a system where if after the 7th one, if you didn't make it, well, you're done. You understand what I'm saying? For you to be an ancestor, you have to make it to the age of 80. If you come back as a good person and you've gone through it 7 times, and after the 7th time, you still died at 79, then it's not like, well, you know what? It's too bad for you, pal. Now you're just going to be this, whatever it is. Maybe you end up in Mars. Who knows? Right? In the 7 tries, within those 7 tries, as long as you're living an exemplary life, you will make it to the age of 80 and become an ancestor. That's your reward for living an exemplary life. You will make
exemplary life.
So that Yeah,
Yes.
when you become an ancestor, then you have earned the right to be revered, to be called upon when we're having traditional,
Mm-hmm.
ceremonies, to be invoked by your family,
Mm-hmm.
to want for your
That's
family to
right.
want to fellowship with your spirit and talk about your great deeds
Mm-hmm.
and all the great things that you did while you were alive.
Mm-hmm.
You live forever
Mm-hmm.
because we continue to invoke your great deeds within the family. Now, the other level is if you're a total moron, evil son of a daughter of a you know what,
Mm.
you only get one chance. And when you come back as a cockroach, you come back as maybe you come back as a cow that we end up killing and eating. The soul, how do you say, vaporizes into nothingness. So spiritually, you cease to exist. Physically, you cease to exist. If you come back as a roach, what is the lifespan of a roach? You're not going to be around long enough before maybe a snake or a toad somewhere in the bush eats you and nourishes themselves with you. The idea is that imema inatama. If you do good, you receive good things. If you do bad, you receive bad things. In reality, is it always true? No. And I'm just being a spiritual realist here. There's a 1 year
Of course.
old,
Of course.
yeah, there's a 1 year old somewhere in the Sudan, in the desert, that just starved to
Mm-hmm.
death. Sinless,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
suffered and died. What sin did they commit? What evil did they commit? Or were they part of an evil person that reincarnated into that body?
Mm-hmm.
You could ask a lot of questions. And the sad thing about these questions is you will never get an answer. So we create a system of reward and punishment to guide our behavior so that we're not running around here like a bunch of renegades doing whatever the heck we want to do, abusing one another, taking properties and things that don't belong to you, lying just to get what it is that you want, just behaving in any way you want to. Every religion has a system of reward and punishment. We have spiritual laws of reward and punishment before civic laws. Thou shalt not kill was a spiritual law first before it became civic law. Thou shalt not
That's
lie
right.
was a spiritual law first before it became a civic law, and you will be charged with perjury in court. Every law that controls human behavior was spiritual first before it became civic. The civic part of it is just part of the evolution of spiritual laws into the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Civic law, spiritual law, both have the same purpose: control human behavior. Civic laws, spiritual laws have the same idea behind them: reward and punishment.
And we are living in such terrible times right now. We are living in a world where there's so much disease, so much death and dying, and to some lose loved ones. It's good to think, well, my loved one is coming back. The finality that some other religions have, it may suit them well, and I'm not here to criticize one's religious
Mhm.
practices, but when we make death final, where the person goes to either a good place or go to a bad place, right? Well, they go to a good place and that's it, they're done. you know they've gone away.
No second chances.
And then they go to a bad place. They go to a bad place. So you personally, you're going to have to think when this, that you have an uncle who's a pain, who's mean, or an auntie who is just horrid, right? When they pass away, if that is what you're taught, where do you think they're going? You may say, this uncle is so bad, I know where he's going. He's going to hell. Because you're told if you're good, you go to hell. You go to heaven, or whatever other religions say. If you're bad, you go and burn forever, and what have you. Now, if you have a family member who is exemplifying all those horrors, then in your mind, you have to struggle to say, I know my uncle is bad, but that's still my uncle. My God, is that where he's going? You think about
that's where
him
he's going,
for
according to
eternity.
them. Yeah.
You think about for eternity. This is where auntie or uncle is going. It doesn't make you feel good. So that when they pass away, you just whisper and say, "Well, I hope you don't go to, you don't burn forever."
Yeah, I don't even have a lot of problem with it. I don't even have a lot of problem with it. I said the reason why I say I don't even have a problem with that is it's all part of their concept of reward and punishment. The only time I have a problem with it is when they present it as exclusive truth, right?
Yeah,
This
but
is
what
the
the
only
point
way.
I'm trying to the point I'm trying to make is that every belief serves the community that it
Absolutely.
came from.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
the concept of heaven and hell, it is their concept of how to deal
Yeah,
with hereafter. Own.
exactly.
And our own has consequences that reminds us that we're coming back. All this stuff you're doing, there's nowhere you're going to go finally and you have to deal with whatever you have to deal over there. Oh no, you're coming back. You will reap the benefit of everything you did.
In this world.
Okay, so you may want to do right. You may want to do right. You may not want to go and steal chicken that doesn't belong to you, or beat an old man to death, or go, run somebody over with a truck because their skin color is different from yours, or kill somebody because they don't speak the same language, or do all sorts of manners of horrible
Indeed.
things to fellow human beings, and then you go to church and then you ask for forgiveness. And then you're forgiven.
Doesn't it drive you
Then now
crazy
you're
though?
going to go to heaven. No,
No.
it doesn't work
You're
that
gonna
way.
pay for it. There's no. You know what it is? Get out of jail card. That's what they preach. Get out of jail card, right? It doesn't matter, man. I'm glad you brought this up. It doesn't matter what manner of evil you commit in this world. All you got to do is drink the blood of Jesus and eat his flesh, and all is good. It doesn't matter what you do. You could stomp a baby to death, eat the baby up alive, cook the baby. It doesn't really matter. Just accept this. And meanwhile, while you're doing all that evil, Jesus Christ is watching you doing it. He never came down from the heavens to say, hey, man, this is wrong. Hey, lady, you can't do that. He's just sitting there waiting on you to, after you've killed and mashed and turned the child into mashed potatoes, just waiting on you to say, I accept you as my Lord and Savior. All is okay, my child. No.
No, for those who believe, for those who believe in Jesus Christ, they need to ask themselves a question. Even when you look at Jesus Christ, what kind of life did he live? He didn't live this kind of life that many of the adherents or Muhammad. Many of the adherents are living totally different lives from the Messiah that they claim is I was watching it, just a heartbreak. A woman in the streets of Afghanistan. They just the Taliban, as you well know, just moved on in there, and Allah Kuba. I don't know how do you say that?
God is great.
Allah Akbar or something. Okay, well, I'm not trying to insult Muslims. I don't know how to say it properly, so perhaps I shouldn't say it. But you know what I'm talking about. It's your language. Yeah. But when a woman walked down the street, she was all fully covered, really. The only thing you could see was her eyes. and she was all in black. She covered. If that's supposed to be the tradition. All for 20 years, these women in Afghanistan, they have lived without, you know, the shroud of evil that some of these people put upon them 20 years ago, you know, the Taliban at that time. Now, what you've got, you have this woman in the street who has never had to have a man walk with her because she's like 20 something years old, you know? She was probably an infant when the Americans took over Afghanistan, but she's walking without a man. And they stopped her and asked her, where was her man? She said she didn't have any. And they asked her, so why are you in the street if you don't have a man to walk with you? And you know, they decapitated her in front
right there
of a crowd.
When did this happen?
Right there, because
when did this
I'll send
happen?
you the video.
Wow.
Maybe about 3 days ago, 4 days ago, just recently. This just happened now that they took over. So what kind of spirit, what do you consider to be a consequence for your action when you do things like that? They're killing, just massacring people.
We need to kind of, before you continue that, I hope you don't mind, let's just say one thing right now. This is not Islam. We need to make that distinction so that our audience will not have this idea in their mind that this is how Muslims act. This is a sect. These are extremists. And in every religion, you have those. These people are nuts. They're crazy. I could say that about them, that they're crazy, because it's not a statement towards Islam, but a statement to people that have created their own sect and they are using the religion as justification for their controlled ambitions, for the things that they want to do for themselves, not for Muhammad, not for Allah. This is about evil people, not about Islam. I'm sorry about that. What you just shared with me now has just really set me off.
It is horrible, and we have to end this show and continue next week because there's something else coming on at exactly 11 o'clock. So I have to get off. But I want to answer this question very quickly. This was from Matt Lewis, and he says, I had to restart my phone while you may have answered it. But where does a child passing before they do any good things or bad things pure, like my brother Jason, who passed 4 months? Well, 4 months, that means that he got through the 7 trials. So he will reincarnate and continue his journey. Yeah. So he just started his journey, but he'll be back. You know. So I've gone beyond the 1 hour. Okay, but anyway, I hope that answered your question. There is no punishment at that young age for him. He's just passing on. He's passed away, and he'll be back to continue because he didn't make it to 80. So we know he's still on that journey.
We don't have a time frame for his reincarnation. So you know, it could be immediate.
No, we don't.
It could be,
we don't.
You know, a year, 2 years, 3, or whatever, somewhere within the family tree or family line, or maybe outside of it. We don't have that. There's no test tube. But spiritually speaking, as far as what our belief system is concerned, he is on his journey back.
He's on his journey back. So I want to end the show now and just remind all of you that right at this moment, you know, just keep doing what you're supposed to do that you know is right. You know, be perfect in every way that you possibly can. You know, it's an imperative for your reincarnation. You know, do yourself honor, do your brothers and sisters who deserve it honor. Listen to others' pains and don't draw conclusions, because unless you're in their moccasins, you walk in their moccasins, you don't know what they're going through. Never assume that somebody is a bad person just because of what they did. Sometimes people do what they do out of desperation, and they will suffer the consequence. You don't have to know what it was that caused it, but just know there's consequences for it. but don't put people down based on your observations. You know, if you see somebody that needs to be picked up, you know, pick them up. You know, you're a part of their path as well. We're good to each other. So as we
Yeah.
realize in our spirituality that we come back and inherit, you know, what this and reap what we've sowed, then it becomes imperative that we do the good things that need to be done. And if you see somebody doing something that's not right, take the time and teach them what's right to do. We're going to continue this conversation next Sunday. Please be sure to join us. Bring your friends, whomsoever. Get a cup of coffee, sit around, and you know have conversations with me. I want to thank all of those who did join us today. Let's see. I want to thank Nosferatu as always. You guys just give us so much joy. I love you dearly. And yes, we're looking forward to part two. Like to thank Matt Lewis. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for joining us. Upunna Charles, thank you for being with us. It's just always a joy to have you join the
Awesome.
show. Your Highness Din Chimobi, thank you so much for being on the other side of the spectrum. Ugo Beneja, what is it? Ugo Benaja, I think. Richie East, thank you for joining us. Uh, Ibrahim Adamu Saki, thank you so much for joining us. Several people joined from Global Faith Ministries, some Chism Live, and some Chism Live on YouTube. Thank all of you. Thank you so much. And I ask you, bring your questions next week. Let's talk about it. This is about us, and love your neighbor. I don't care if they're Christian, I don't care if they're Muslim, I don't care who they are. Love them and continue to pray and ask Chineke to bless them. But love who you are as well and love your culture. And so it is. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you next week on Sunday.
Yeah,
Have a
guys.
good
Yeah.
one. That's it.